Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to this very different video as we are going to try and look into the future. We are going to try and predict the WWE WrestleMania 35 match card. We're going to try and figure out what WrestleMania 35 is going to look like. Not only that, I'm going to tell you who I think will win each of those matches as well. So this is all educated guesses. Of course, a lot of these are guesses because we've only had a couple of matches announced so far. You can sort of see some of these matches starting to build, though. You can sort of make educated guesses. Some of them are just complete wild picks. But I have looked at last year's WrestleMania. There were 14 matches on last year's WrestleMania, 3 on the pre-show, so that's where we will start. So I'm going to use that as a structure. So I've got 3 matches on the WrestleMania 35 pre-show. We're going to start with the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Of course, this has been going on for a few years now. It's not really a massive deal, to be honest. A lot of the people that have won it in the past, you might struggle to remember their names. Mojo Rawley, Baron Corbin, Big Show, Cesaro. I mean, they're all established stars. They're all names that you would know, but you really have to think, who was last year? Matt Hardy? Matt Hardy was last year. So yeah, it's not great. I think Lars Sullivan will win here. There's big rumours that Lars Sullivan is meant to be facing John Cena, and they could totally still do that match, but he should have debuted by now. He was meant to be in the Royal Rumble. He was meant to have already been on the main roster, but there's big reports that he's had like an anxiety attack or several anxiety attacks, panic attacks. And so I just wonder if a little bit of confidence has been lost in him. Might make more sense on a show of that scale to put him in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, where he can be surrounded with 19 other people. Then maybe he won't feel like he stands out as much. He might be a little bit more comfortable. It will give him a nice victory to build upon. That would make sense to me, rather than putting him in a singles match against John Cena on the biggest stage there is. But they could totally go that way if they haven't lost that confidence in him. So, tough one to call, but I'm going to stick with they put him in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal and he picks up the victory. Next up, we've got the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal. I totally expect them to change this name. I would like them to name it after Sherry Martel, Sensational Sherry. They could name it after Chyna, but that is highly unlikely. So I think they might go with Sensational Sherry or maybe Miss Elizabeth. But WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal, just, I don't know, I feel like it needs a name change. Winner here is a little bit tricky because there's a lot of candidates. I'm thinking the likes of Carmella, Alexa Bliss. But I think it comes down to either Ruby Riott or Nia Jax. Nia Jax had a great showing at the Royal Rumble. Arguably the biggest moment was her replacing R-Truth to enter the men's Royal Rumble. And then you've got Ruby Riott, who the company seem quite high on. They seem quite into. She's picked up some big victories. She's the leader of the Riott squad. It wouldn't surprise me if she picked up the victory here. So I'll say Nia Jax, but Ruby Riott is a close second. Finally on the pre-show, the Cruiserweight Championship. I think Buddy Murphy will be champion going into this match. Honestly, I would have said Buddy Murphy versus Hideo Itami. Hideo has never held that title, and I think they could have put on a fantastic match. Obviously, Hideo has requested his release, so I'm going to have to find a replacement. I'm going to go with Lio Rush. Lio Rush is seen every week on Raw. He's still a cruiserweight, but he's a known cruiserweight, and he's fantastic in the ring. They would put on a great match, and I just think it's probably the match that makes the most sense. The only downside is both of these guys are heels. So Buddy Murphy would have to have a bit of a character change. We'll have to see. There's really not a great deal of options now. You know, Lucha House Party have gone to Raw. Mustafa Ali has gone to SmackDown Live. Obviously, Lio Rush is on Raw a lot now. Hideo Itami has left. You're kind of looking at the likes of Akira Tozawa, Brian Kendrick, Noam Dar. It's you know what I mean? It's not great. So I'll say Buddy Murphy versus Lio Rush, but it's a bit of a wild guess. Right, let's get to the main card. Intercontinental Championship match. We've got Bobby Lashley, and this could easily be Bobby Lashley against Braun Strowman. It's hard to know what Braun is going to be doing because he doesn't seem to be involved in any of the championship matches. He might find a way into the Brock Lesnar-Seth Rollins match, but I don't think he will. I could see him going after Bobby Lashley eventually. Obviously, Drew McIntyre, Baron Corbin, and Bobby Lashley attacked Braun Strowman. Now, at the moment, Braun Strowman is in a bit of a feud with Drew McIntyre and Baron Corbin. Once that feud is finished, there's really only one other person for him to get revenge over, and that's Bobby Lashley, who's got a title at the moment. So it would kind of make sense for Braun Strowman to go after that title. The only other person I thought this could be would be Dean Ambrose. It's really hard to tell whether he is leaving the company or not. I feel like it's a work. I feel like he's staying with WWE, and I feel like this is going to be used to build his WrestleMania match. It could be that he leaves for a couple of weeks. Bobby Lashley then starts trash talking him, getting in the face of, say, Renee Young. I really feel like if this is a work, Renee Young needs to be involved. But could you imagine, like, Ambrose has gone and Lashley can call him a quitter, can call him a failure, can be getting in the face of Renee Young, and then out of nowhere, Dean Ambrose comes back as a face and goes after Bobby Lashley. I could see that happening. I'm going to say Braun for now, just because I honestly don't know what's happening with Dean. So I'm going to say Braun Strowman versus Bobby Lashley. Strowman wins. Next up, we've got the SmackDown Live Women's Championship. Asuka versus Charlotte. This is really difficult because I feel like Asuka should get the victory here because she should get revenge for last year, but I don't think she will. I think Charlotte will beat Asuka again. For me, I can see the end of WrestleMania 35 where all four horsewomen, the WWE horsewomen, all four of them are holding up championships. I think that will be the final image, and then maybe at that point that's where we get the MMA for horsewomen. I think that is how WrestleMania ends this year. So we've already seen, you know, the hand gesture during Royal Rumble weekend. We know that it's coming. So I'm going to say, for the good of the storyline, Charlotte beats Asuka. Next, that brings us to the women's tag titles match. I think by this point, Sasha and Bayley will be champions. I think they will go up against Trish and Lita. I think, you know, it's going to bring a bit of star power to WrestleMania. And I think that Sasha and Bayley retain. Next up, I've got the United States Championship, and I'm really feeling like we need a ladder match. I really think there's a lot of people that are going to be around this title. There's a lot of big names on SmackDown. So I'm going to say that we get a 7-man ladder match that features R-Truth, Rey Mysterio, AJ Styles, Mustafa Ali, Randy Orton, Andrade, and Jeff Hardy. That is one hell of a lineup. One hell of a lineup. Some of those names just feel too big to put into the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. You can't put AJ into that match. You can't put Jeff Hardy into that match, or Randy Orton. Andrade, they seem really hot on. R-Truth is the current champion, and even if he doesn't have the title at this point, I feel like he still deserves to be in this ladder match. So I would book a ladder match using all of that talent. And it's really hard to know who's going to come out as champion. I feel like it could be AJ Styles. I feel like he deserves to win a title. He's obviously been United States champion before. I could see him picking up the belt here. Next up, Shane McMahon versus The Miz. I really feel like they're going quite hard and heavy at the lovey-dovey stuff. You know, there was like real sweet moment where Shane brought down The Miz's dad, and there's like this real feel-good vibe that they're building up. And I can see them defending the titles at Elimination Chamber, but it wouldn't surprise me if Shane turns on Miz. That's right, I think Shane turns on Miz. I'm not sure that they're going to put The Miz back to being a heel. I think they might still play around with him as a face. So Shane turns on Miz, and then we get Shane versus The Miz at WrestleMania. You could, even if you wanted to, make it a mixed tag match. Get Stephanie McMahon involved, Shane and Steph, against Miz and Maurice. You could totally go down that road. Not sure that they will, but I feel like that's going to split. That team will split soon. That leaves us with a problem though. What is the SmackDown Tag Team title match going to look like? Now, I think Rusev and Nakamura could get the belts before WrestleMania. Clearly that's a team that's just been put together. It's a big team. You've got to admit that. That is two big singles stars that are working together. I could see them staying together, having a little bit of success, and there is no way you cannot put the New Day on this show. So I think we see Rusev and Nakamura as champions, defending against the New Day. And let's go with the New Day. Why not? It doesn't seem like they're going to split them up anytime soon. So I'm going to say the New Day win here. Next, we got the Raw Tag Team Championships. I could see Bobby Roode and Chad Gable retaining. I feel like it would have been Authors of Pain, but Akam is injured now, and it doesn't look like he's going to be back in time. So it's really hard to see where they could put those titles. So I feel like they'll just keep them on Roode and Chad Gable. But then you have to try and figure out who their opponents are going to be. I don't see it being the Revival. They just don't seem to be doing much with the Revival. And also, we're going to have seen that match enough times. It's not WrestleMania worthy. So how about a curveball? How about they keep the titles on Bobby Roode and Chad Gable, but they have to defend them against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. We know Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are coming back very soon. I honestly don't know if they're coming back as a team. They were obviously working together when they went away due to injury. They could totally come back as a team and get a WrestleMania match for the tag titles. If they do, I think they win them. Next, we've got the Universal Championship match. We already know what it is. Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins. I feel like Seth Rollins wins. I feel like this is the moment to take the belt away from Brock. Seth has had a fantastic year in 2018, and he's obviously won the Royal Rumble in 2019. So, yeah, look, it's now or never, really. Someone's got to beat Brock. It might as well be Seth. Next, the Undertaker match. How about the Undertaker versus Finn Balor, the dead man, versus the Demon? It's the big rumour match that we're getting this year. It's what a lot of people expect the Undertaker to be doing. Obviously, a lot of people expected Undertaker John Cena last year, and we kind of got it. I mean, they had a match, but it was like 2 minutes long. Honestly, I don't know what the build's going to be like for this. I feel like it's the right match for both of them. I feel like it's a big thing for Balor. I think like it's a great opponent for Undertaker, Dead Man, Demon. It sort of books itself. But it's going to be interesting to watch the build to this. So I hope we get it. I'm going to say we do. And I'm going to say Finn Balor wins. Next up, we've got the WWE Championship match. And I do have to thank the live stream chat. Every Raw, every SmackDown Live, every WWE pay-per-view, we do a live stream, we do live reactions, we do giveaways, we do loads of stuff. And it was actually the chat that came up with this. So credit to them, because we think that the WWE Championship match will be Daniel Bryan versus John Cena. It makes perfect sense. John Cena, obviously a big movie star. Easily he can win some kind of qualifying match to find his way into that match, to get himself that opportunity. I believe he's only one title win away from the record. You could even do a Bella in each corner. So you've got Nikki Bella, obviously in the corner of John Cena, showing support for him. You've got Brie Bella in the corner of Daniel Bryan. I know Nikki and John don't go out, but apparently they're still the best of friends. So I just think that would be very interesting. Not sure how wrestling fans would react, because they don't tend to like part-timers coming back and getting these kinds of opportunities. But honestly, I would rather that than AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan, because I just feel like I've seen that enough now. You could go with someone different, but it's WrestleMania. You need big names. You need star power. They could easily, you know, try and get Batista or someone like that, but I just feel like John Cena's more realistic. But I really love this new Daniel Bryan. I'm all in on it. I say Daniel Bryan retains. And that, of course, brings us to the main event, and this should be the main event. I don't think there's anyone that's in any doubt, and I honestly think it will be. I don't think WWE will mess around with this. They know what they've got with Becky Lynch. So Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship. Becky Lynch wins. That would then mean at the end of the show, you've got Charlotte with the SmackDown title, Becky with the Raw title, Sasha and Bayley with the tag team titles. You could have Ronda on the outside looking up at the 4 horsewomen as Shayna Baszler, Marina Shafir, Jessamine Duke come walking down the aisle, and then we get an epic stare down. They could even throw fists. There could even be a little bit of action to close the show. But what an end that would be. 4 horsewomen. 4 horsewomen. Stunning. I've got goosebumps just talking about it. Awesome, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already. And hopefully, see you again next time. Bye for now.